Hey guys, today's video is all about this stone right here. This is marketed everywhere as Green Onyx, and it's not. I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat, it's not. This is actually banded calcite, and we're gonna first do some tests to prove that it's calcite and not onyx, and then we're gonna come back here and look at some examples online. We're gonna do a quick test here. I have a piece of fluorite. This is a little fluorite cube. Now, we're referencing the Mohs hardness scale here. So calcite is rated at a hardness of 3. It's a fairly soft mineral. Fluorite is about a 4, and true onyx is about a 7. It's closer to quartz. It's a type of chalcedony. So the fluorite will scratch calcite, but it would not scratch onyx if this were onyx. So we're just going to take a section here. This is a piece that actually broke. I don't know if you could see, there's a line right here, a bit of a chip in it. My daughter got it and thought it looked like one of her balls, so she tried bouncing it on the ground. I've glued it back together. I really think it's beautiful, so I'm going to keep it, but that's why I don't mind scratching it, so in case you're wondering. But here we go. Now, it's not taking too much pressure at all, but I don't know if you can see there. There's totally a scratch. I do like it, so I'm not going to totally gouge it out, but you can totally see there's a scratch there. So this is definitely some calcite. We're going to do another quick test here on our calcite. I like this one less because it actually will leave a little bit of a mark. The scratch just kind of, you can make small. But anyway, we're going to put some vinegar. This is just the white cleaning vinegar. I'm just going to put a little drop. And I have quartz here because I don't have onyx, but it's going to react similarly. So quartz, onyx, chalcedony, they do not react with vinegar. But the calcite will. It'll start bubbling as it reacts with the acid. So we're just going to give it a second here. See if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, can you see those bubbles? It's kind of grainy with the zoom now, but you can see the movement there. And on the quartz, there is nothing. So, there you have it. That is definitely calcite, not onyx. Alright, we're back. Now that we know that we've actually got a calcite here, we're going to poke around on the internet just a little bit and see if we can find some actual examples of what we're supposed to be looking for. Okay, let's get our stalker cam pulled up here. Okay, we're just going to start in Google. We're going to do a search for onyx and see what comes up. This is perfect. Okay, there it goes. Okay, let's come back to that picture. First though, let's start over here. This is really good. So onyx is banded chalcedony right off the bat. We already know we are dealing with a calcite here. It's pretty in the light. We already know we're dealing with a calcite. Chalcedony is a totally different material. It's in the quartz family. Calcite, it's a totally different mineral. So what we're looking for to be true green onyx is something that's banded and also that's in the chalcedony family or the quartz family. And we know this is a calcite, so right off the bat, even though it's banded, it's not the same thing at all. Let's pull up our images though. This is perfect. Traditionally in the gem world, onyx is a black and white banded stone. Some of these are just black, but you know, we've got some fans. This is another one I've seen, blue onyx. It's calcite, you guys, same thing. Let's go ahead and stay in Google though. I want to do a search and see what we pull up for green onyx. Okay. Right off the bat, there we go. We've got some calcite. That's totally fake. That that is calcite, calcite, calcite. We've got these interesting green gems here. We'll come back to those. I have a theory. Marble. Okay, so this is good. Apparently when you buy it in the industrial space, you can get it as countertops. I believe I've seen it as sinks. This is like a box. I've seen those before. They're calling them marble though, which actually is a better term to use than onyx, because marble is a calcite based material. That's why you see a lot of sculptures made out of marble, because it's softer, they can carve it easier. If it was true onyx, as a member of the quartz family, it would be called granite. That's a much harder material. It's usually quartz-based minerals in granite, but marble is softer. It's a calcite-based material, so that's actually a better name for our material. Putting onyx in there is a little bit inaccurate, but it seems they're using it as a color term more than anything. More calcite. Okay. These, let's go back to these. Those look suspiciously like raw calcite. Okay, so this is just Google. This is what we've brought up here. I want to go to Etsy specifically because that is kind of the crystal mecca of the world right now. Everybody buys their minerals, excuse me, on Etsy. Everybody sells their minerals on Etsy. So we're gonna go ahead and do a search for green onyx and see what comes up. Okay, right off the bat, everything is calcite. I don't know why diopside is in here. That is a very different material. Apparently you can call that green onyx too. If it's green, call it onyx, right? These gems, again, we're seeing, let me come back to that. But this is all calcite, calcite, calcite. If you see the brown in there, so this is the one that we've been looking at. It's mostly green. I do have another one here. It's the same material. It does have brown in there. It's just another color variation of the calcite. These are all calcite, guys. Calcite, calcite, calcite. This is less banded. It looks more like the marble, but again, marble's calcite based. So I do think it's beautiful, like this black, the green and white. It's a really pretty stone. I just wish it was called the correct name. That looks suspiciously like it might be dyed. Parrot green onyx. I saw this somewhere else. It might be a new trendy thing that's come up. All kinds of calcite. Green onyx stone cremation urn. I'm guessing that's calcite, you guys. $160. Don't always be fooled by the price. Don't just look at something and say just because it's expensive, especially on Etsy, because there are a lot of sellers that don't know. And most of this material has been imported, and there's a big language barrier there, and so a lot of times the sellers from overseas just kind of quickly do a search with our language and try to figure out what they think it could be, and they really are not labeling it correctly. So do not look at the price. Do your own research and figure out for sure what the material is. And it's hard to tell from pictures. You can't always be sure. So it can be difficult, and it's unfortunate. This is interesting. This is definitely in the quartz family. That little, where did it go? Right here. This crystallization here, that's quartz crystallization, the veining. Green quartz is very, very rare though. At this price, I would think that that is a heat-treated amethyst more than anything. It doesn't look dyed. If it's dyed, you'd have a big buildup of dye in the cracks typically. But I think this is heat-treated amethyst. Typically they do that for citrine, but some shades of it, you can get it to turn green too. Or they combine it with a radiation or something. But anyway, that's a suspicious looking one. If it is a true green color though, that's the closest thing I've seen to true green onyx here. Okay, so these little green gems here that I see everywhere, if they're not glass, that's like the bright color that is kind of suspicious. They could be glass, they could be fake, but if this is a true gem, this could be, if it is in the member of the chalcedony family, this could be the closest thing here that we have to, that looks like a genuine stone of some kind. This could be the closest thing that I've seen to actual green onyx. It's not banded though. To be green onyx, it needs to be banded, remember? But let me just pull this up real quick. Green chalcedony. Yeah, there we go. That's the same thing. It's a solid color. Chalcedony is a member of the quartz family. That is probably the most accurate thing we've seen so far. And based on our searches we've done here with Google and Etsy, I don't know if green onyx actually exists, guys. I mean, like I said, these are pictures we're going at, but they're like exactly this. So, and especially if you see it being sold from like Pakistan and Mexico, there is a lot of, let's see if I can, yeah, these vases, they come out of Pakistan. Commonly, mostly, they come out of Pakistan, and they are being sold as onyx, and they are not onyx. That is calcite. So anyway, hopefully this helps. Do your research. If you're like me, I like to know for sure what I'm getting. And I think what's happening here is this is just a trade name that we're seeing. So a lot of times when a material is on the market, the sellers will, the wholesale suppliers will give it a name to make it sound more marketable, that will make it sell better. And so onyx sounds more exotic and more desirable than calcite, I think, and probably a little more rare sounding, to appeal to, I don't know, you can get a higher price maybe. Not that any of these are super expensive. Onyx is not a super expensive material in itself, but I think it probably would sell for more than calcite. But don't always look at the prices, like I said. But anyway, I think that this is just a trade name, and it looks to me like calcite has just become the green onyx, even though that's not what it is. So don't be fooled by that. Know what you're buying. Do your research. If you are able to test something, if you happen to have like a fluorite or find something on the Mohs scale that is between your calcite and your onyx in the hardness, you can use that to do a test. You can do the vinegar. Like I said, that leaves a watermark though, but oh dear, what just happened? But anyway, do your research. Hopefully this helped. But yeah, the takeaway from this is all painted calcite, you guys. I don't think there is such a thing as green onyx that I've seen. I could be wrong. I'm not like perfect in all this, but from what I know about where they come from and what the stones are like, we have a major mislabeling happening right here. So hopefully this helped, guys. I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.